All right, everybody, welcome back to Twinhammer. We've got our guest star Vivek with us again, who finished best of the rest in all of the group stages in the second group. Just missed the top 16, but finished 17th overall in the world. And so, Vivek, it's a pleasure to have you back. We are going to be doing a quick fire Worlds, post-Worlds tier list. So we did a pre-Worlds tier list, and now we have a post-Worlds tier list for an update. We're going to be talking about the classified teams, but removing them. We have our two new teams, the Wolf Scouts and the Stealth Suits. We're going to be adding them. And so it'll be a quick fire recap of what happened at Worlds within the context of this tier list for you guys at home. And we have our guest host, Thomas, here. And Vivek, I'll let you guys introduce.
Hey guys, you know me.
How's
You
it
love
going?
me. Always great to
All
be
right.
on. You guys put on a great little shindig. I can't wait to update this tier list because we made a bunch of predictions and now I get to talk about some stuff I didn't talk about in the last video because they were contentious opinions that may or may not have been proven correct here. We'll see.
100%. And we were so happy to meet so many people who watched the tier list and all of the other videos.
And people from foreign countries pointing at me and yelling Twinhammer. That happened twice.
We met people from China, we met people from Sweden, we met people from Spain, we met people from England, US, obviously. We had
Argentina,
Argentina, of course. Shout out Ratman
Mexico.
and Luciano, and
Italy
Italy too. And Worlds was such an amazing time. This was highlighting just the guys. We all stayed in a house together. These were most of us, Team Canada and the Great Lakes Kill Team. Landon, who finished third overall. We're going to shout you out when we talk about Fellgor. We got Dylan, we've got Shane as our honorary Americans, as well as Milton. And hopefully all of them will be on Team Canada. We knighted Jimmy Kelly, but these are all experiences. We'll go on into more detail. We are going to bring you guys to a tier list, but we just wanted to highlight, shout out the guys. It was such an amazing experience. And we highly recommend going to Worlds because it's having all brothers from all different nations, and you literally just vibe and have such a great time over Kill Team. So just this was amazing. We had the Necron dude, just Hyrotech, just steaming in the corner.
I mean, Canoptek was out in force, so it makes sense to have a Necron out here.
Right? We had a lot of cool stuff like these guys at Worlds. This guy was like 7 feet tall, by the way. He was crazy tall. So without further ado, guys, we're going to shout out all of you guys. We love you all. And we'll highlight their experiences as we go through this tier list. This was our tier list going into Worlds. And so we actually were talking with Ace, who is the world champion now. We were talking with Ace, Netra, and the other Spanish guys who watched this tier list before. They said they agreed with a lot of it and disagreed with a lot of it, which was super cool. Obviously, Mandrakes won.
Yeah, where do we put Mandrakes? Where's the
Mandrakes we had as a wild card in top of.
Oh yeah,
A
no, that
here.
makes sense. And the Spaniards figured out what they needed to do to win, and they did it. Like that is, I think we're correct in that sense. Like nobody can just pick up Mandrakes and work the way the Spanish did. Like they had some precision tech. Like I played Netra. Oh yeah, dude, is precision.
And you played him. He was on Mandrakes too, Netra, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
I think he came in. I think he got best overall. I think he ended up 9-1. I think he only lost one game.
And so you
Something
played
like that,
Canoptek. You played the Canoptek Mandrakes matchup, which was the Dan Barton Canoptek versus
Yeah,
Aces.
and they went the same way.
Yeah. And so that's something that we wanted to highlight here. And we've recreated this tier list essentially for everyone here.
Basically, our predictions versus our results.
Yeah. So these were the predictions here, everybody. And then now I've recreated this tier list here and I put it in white so everyone can see that it's clearly different with the two new teams here that will finish off with the predictions. The goal, again, of this video is just to make sure that you guys have a quick fire understanding of where the meta is now, how that applies to you, and then a few different ways that these guys were playing the teams so that you can come back with more ideas and have a really good idea of what happened at Worlds as well. All right, so without further ado, we're going to go quick fire through here and we are going to get each of our opinions. We're going to go from top down and we are going to talk about if the teams are classified, we're actually going to put them in a classified D list tier here. And we're going to bump up some of the teams that aren't classified into into the new meta, essentially. So at the end of this picture, you'll have a good understanding of what our opinions are on the new meta. And then we love the discussion. We love talking about kill teams. So we're hopefully you guys have a great time with this. So now we're going to go into Canoptek here. So Canoptek, Vivek, you finished 17th overall with Canoptek. I had 4 Canoptek in my group. I played them 4 times, all 4
I had
times.
2. I played them 2 times.
Yeah, Thomas, you dodged Canoptek, right?
The entire tournament, I dodged Canoptek.
The entire tournament.
Somehow.
What
I
a
had
boss.
only one in my group, and then I didn't end up facing any in the post group stages. So it was actually nice for me, from my perspective. It was kind of nice that I didn't have to face them, but yeah, you guys can take it away on that.
Yeah, so overall, I think narrow maps really favor Canoptek because the nodes can stretch really far across literally the whole the whole horizontal.
Using your
So when you're
nodes in
going
conjunction
long,
with protection is also like there's still a lot of room to play. They'll probably be my B team. Compete with Deathwatch. Like Brood Brothers definitely gonna be my main team, and then I'll play one team. Canoptek feels like a good team to maintain as a secondary because it is in the right meta. It is pretty stupid good kind of thing. It still has dumb stuff until it gets nerfed. Hopefully, it'll get nerfed. But yeah, I think it's still comfortable as S tier. It just has it's overtuned. It's got goofy tools. I think S tier is still fair just because if you're a good Canoptek player, you can probably go to any tournament where they don't have like a world class player of a different faction and just uninteractably win every game by like 2 points and hang out.
yeah. Starting with Canoptek, they went to the finals, and then Thomas, how many got in the top 16?
We had 3 in the top 16.
And then Vivek, you finished 17th overall. Then we had 18 and 19 were all Canoptek.
Yeah, so pretty good presence.
And so what did you feel about Canoptek? S tier still?
S tier still. It's definitely a hard team to play, but they have the tools. It's just a very good team. They just have, and the expendable aspect of the team and the respawning of expendable is just very good. It's just like it's in the busted mechanic S tier area. They're definitely beatable, as is seen throughout the course of this tournament. But it's tough. It's an uphill battle for any opponent because if you don't do your job right, your opponent's gonna get a bunch of free value, and then you're gonna lose the game.
Yeah, and I played Canoptek 4 times. I had 4 of them in my group, and I know Eden also on Void Dancers played Canoptek 4 times. What I found was that Canoptek were very strong on the narrow maps where it's a long map. You have to spend extra time to get to them. And then also it's harder for flank, and flank was a big counter for Canoptek. The Mandrakes were going flank into Canoptek from what we understand. And that's what I played successfully into Canoptek. So whenever I won, I played flank and I stretched them because it's hard for Canoptek to stretch. But certainly the Warriors being able to kill like a Void Dancer operative and then respawning was crazy. So they have a lot of power. The node matrix, just like the Raveners in the tunnel, playing around that or making sure that you don't push the advantage to them is really, really important. When you played Netra, who finished best overall, I think, and went 9-1, you had that Mandrakes Canoptek matchup, just like the final. What was your experience? What did Mandrakes bring that were really good against Canoptek?
Speed, being able to hold back unpredictability, being able to dash and then do something, dash and charge while ignoring terrain. I mean, we played on Tomb World, but also presents its own challenges. We played on the map where he had floating walls near every board edge, so flank became pretty easy. I messed up my game plan. I should have played way more aggressively. I played way too passive and just let him score points. But the main thing is they can be where they need to be. The shadow tech is there, but because of their 2 APL limitation, the limitations on the shadow, it's all about the pre-planning. You need to be knowing where people are going to effectively use all the movement and whatnot. They're not like a team that be like, oh, you can quickly like change sides of the board. But once your plan is sort of in motion, quickly going and doing something somewhere else that was completely unplanned for is a little more difficult. Utilizing the shadow with the planning, you can reap disgusting results by knowing where you need to be and when and how many points you need to score. Like a scoring based Mandrake play is just amazing. It sings.
And so now I think we can bring Mandrake. So for us, our biggest dark horse, and we had mentioned that they were a dark horse team. So I think, do we bring them up to an S tier or we put them in top of A?
I think you put them 1 to the right of Fellgor. At the highest levels, like we've seen, of course, Mandrakes can beat them, but it's on the Fellgor end, they can just run at you and charge and fight, and they can just do that. And it's not like it's low percentage. They can just run you down because you're 8 wounds and everybody's 4 damage. They can just run you down and they have more bodies. So I think Fellgor still have a better shtick than Mandrakes for this, and Fellgor also play flank, but you have to kill them twice. You know, like that's the tough part. It's like, all right, Mandrakes, finesse, play flank. Fellgor, sledgehammer, play flank. Easier means like lower brain usage. Means if you got to play 10 games with it, you can reap higher benefits by having a bit of that sledgehammer effect as opposed to being the glass cannon. So I would still edge Fellgor up ahead of Mandrakes for that.
And so we'll talk about we talked about Canoptek, but now we are talking about Fellgor and Mandrakes. So we've moved Mandrakes up. You just mentioned about Fellgor as well. And Fellgor, shout out to Landon here. He was actually rooming in the same room with me and Thomas, and he finished 3rd in the world.
Good
He
shit.
played a Fellgor mirror against Dylan Gill. Shout out to Dylan Gill, who was on Hearthkyn for the longest time. He was on Fellgor as well. They both got to the semifinals. They lost to Dan and Ace on Canoptek and Mandrakes, respectively. And then they played the Fellgor mirror in the semifinals. And it was amazing. Every time I looked up, I was on turn 3. Landon would come over and he'd be like, I won again. And I was like, how are you playing your games so fast? So he's playing fast, efficiently. And I think if you get in a really good rhythm with Fellgor, you know where your operatives, they were extremely good. What Landon said was extremely good at scoring the crit ops. And so you're not even playing kill op. You're scoring well on your tac op, but you're scoring really well on your crit op because you have so much staying power and 10 bodies as well. And then you have operatives like the Mangler that can really reliably kill almost anything in the game, and the Gorehorn as well. So from the Fellgor players, what I heard was the Mangler is your top operative, your Gorehorn is also your second top operative, and then the rest of them, like the Whip guy, he can just go in and completely like prevent one of these big tomb crawlers from getting away quickly, and really mess up like the action economy of a Canoptek player. And then obviously with the elf teams, you're 2-tapping every elf that you come up against. So really, really good in that respect. And then the Mangler can, kill a Deathwatch operative, kill a Nemesis Claw operative really reliably. So it just had all the tools. And again, you'd think that like kill op was the best to do, but really they're a crit op and tac op team. So they're around for the
Kill op
next.
they don't kill very well because they have to kill in melee, which means your opponent can meaningfully interact with it, including killing you and your own activation. If the staying power gives them the power to play attack and crit, like that is the main thing. And the killing is like a side dish to all that.
100%. Thomas, what do you think here?
Yeah, I think Fellgor just inherently give the player a little bit of extra reliability, because we know what makes a team strong is reliability in certain aspects. And like Vivek was just saying, the staying power is so reliable. Like your guy dies, he's still there, like afterwards. So the fact that they could still score flank even with a dead goat, they could still count for holding objectives even with a dead goat. They could still kill someone even with a dead goat. We heard multiple times through all the Fellgor players that after having frenzied, they had still gotten value from their
Always, like
operative.
that is bread and butter of the team.
And exactly. And Dylan, I remember him mentioning that he found them. He said, they are so forgiving compared to what he was used to. He was almost like pleasantly surprised that he felt like he could maybe make more mistakes than he would on another team and still kind of get away with it, simply because you have that little bit of insurance that you can still use the guy when he's frenzied, at least. So I just remember him having that comment as he came by throughout the tournament. And I think that frenzy mechanic just gives them that edge to always be in it. I still think, like we were saying, you need to have a good, distinct game plan with each of the operatives, and it can be hard to kind of know when to do the right thing, because Max, who was also on Fellgor from our group, tremendous Fellgor player, but he was even saying he got a little bit punished for trying these riskier plays at Worlds that maybe in not Worlds you could get away with, but against the high quality opposition. You can't quite be so cavalier with Fellgor, but if you play them like a precision tool, you still have the reliability of the body. So yeah, I think that's why we see them, we had them up there, and we saw them do extremely well at Worlds.
All right. So I think these are really good placing and we're really accurate. We've bumped up Mandrakes here. Nemclaw, do we like where they are right now? I think they did decently.
I'm gonna tackle a block all at once. Nemclaw, Blades of Cain, Deathwatch, and Rekkas. Slide them all over together. They're all in this A slot kind of interchangeably because they have strengths and weaknesses against each other that make them good. So like this block is very much kind of like tied together sort of thing. They each got their strengths and weaknesses against each other and whatnot. This is like a good place to clump all these guys. And based on their placings, it's the same thing. I mean, I still don't think like Deathwatch isn't great, but they're a good sledgehammer. I think they still deserve to be up here right now. Quite powerful Space Marines, and in the current approved ops, quite good. Same thing for Rekkas. Blades of Cain is always in this esoteric space, but they're sort of esoterically A. And I think that covers these 4 teams in one go.
Yeah. And I think we got to shout out David Fake, who did well with Nemclaw on Team Canada. We got to shout out George, of course, who's and Milton, who smashed it with Blades of Cain. I think both of them went 6-4 or around that mark. We got to shout out Shane and Voin, our boy Voin, who brought Rekka's. Voin was on a tear. He was like 5-0 or 4-1 or something in his first 5 games. And then Shane finished in the top 16 again. I don't remember his last placing, but he did really well as well. And they have sorry?
He finished in 8th place.
Oh, he finished in 8th again. Yeah,
yes,
another top 8
finished extremely high. Shane did really, really well. Command Point Shane, who was with us, rooming with us. He's now our boy, and yeah, he did really well.
Yeah, we had a great time in the house, and just shouting out everybody there on Team Canada. And then obviously Dylan in the house with Deathwatch did really well. And then we had one of our guys, Teslin Little Chief. I played his brother, Talon, as well. They're Canadian from Calgary. So shout out to you guys. We didn't get you in the photo here, but there are 2 missing players from Team Canada there. And Teslin did really well. He finished in the top 20 with Deathwatch as well. So I think this A category is really, really good. And they have great play, like Vivek, like you said, great matchups into each other, and then a really good amount of skill expression for each of the team. Do you think everything else we can drop down into this B category for now?
No, hang on. I think you bring the Kroot back up real quick. I want to say one thing about the Kroot.
Yes,
there were 3 Kroot
let's
players.
talk about Kroot.
Okay, their worst record was 6-4. Pretty decent all around. The best Kroot player came in 34th. He is 5 wins, 3 draws, 2 losses. I think they have the juice. Poach, the 1 CP, I don't care how much APL you have standing on it, I do the thing, is just so strong for some crit ops. And it also negates your opponent's ability to play some tac ops. You cannot play banner into a team that can walk up and pick the banner up from you, like under your face at all times. You can't do it. I think they still deserve to be an A. I think they're one of the trickiest Horde teams. I think the main thing is nobody's got enough time on the trigger with a Horde team right now into all these matchups to understand what you need to do to not give up value everywhere. But I think the placings of the people who came out kind of demonstrate that they do play the game well, and I think they're the dark horse for the upcoming like quarter or 2.
Absolutely. That's my next team to paint up, and we still have a year with them, so really excited to play Kroot. How many operatives they have? 11 or 12?
12, brothers.
12
activations.
And they're pretty good bodies for a 12 operative team.
They have 8 and 9 wounds. They have, I think, 7 wounded dogs, but the dogs are fast. They play the missions well. Like as we see, like Mandrakes doing well, playing the mission well, really important.
Yeah.
And they have some pretty reasonably fun guns, like the Piercing 2, Torrent 2, 6-inch Flamer is fun. You can get some serious value. It's also still a threat to Space Marines. It's still good. Like they got some stuff. They have stun on a stick. They got all sorts of stuff. A tier. All right, let's. Why don't we?
All right.
Rapidly go through B tier with just a yes or no.
Yeah. So we'll go quickly, and I was just gonna say, do we want Ratlings?
A tier. I think it's the same thing. I think if people had more time to play them, similar shtick to the Warstalker. They don't play the mission as well, but they have the flex into 3 big bodies with all those activations, which is very good tech into some of these matchups.
And shout out to Jason, who went 6-4 with Ratlings. And I think Rattlings was a sleeper pick here. Ola from Sweden, shout out to you. You've been watching the channel. He also did very well with Rattlings. I think he went either 5-5 and 6-4 as well. And like you said, Vivek, they have a lot of nice synergy with the team. Now with the dashes always, that's
A
huge.
lot of movement. It's good. I like it.
Yeah. All right. So quick fire now. B.
Yes.
We're gonna take tier by tier now. So Corsairs, we are gonna now drop them into classified, but we're gonna talk about each of the classified teams as we're
Oh, yeah,
dropping
we
them.
should just remove classified teams from this list. This is the world's tier list. Let's remove the ones that
Keep everything in. We're just gonna talk about it here and then drop the classified teams into the classified
All right,
section.
on your mark, let's do B.
All right. B tier. Here we go. Quick fire.
All right, classified, drop it.
Corsairs, what do you think? How do you think
Classified,
they
drop it.
did?
Oh.
They did at Worlds.
They got the juice, but it's a struggle when you're an 8-wound elf team out here in the streets with Canoptek and Deathwatch and stuff. It's on the knife's edge, but good night, my princes and pirates. The case is literally right next to me, right here.
I want to just shout out Alex Arcs from Spain. I had a great game against him, and he piloted them just enough to get him the win. I think if I hadn't made a mistake, I could have pulled it out, but I think he did really well. He ended up the best Corsair player, 25th overall. So he did quite well.
My apologies to this man. The number of obscuring shots I took into his elves with my Tomb Spiders, and I just rolled 5 hits, like no rerolls, no accurate. I'm just like, yeah, I'm doing a thing. I'll take an obscured shot. 5 hits, kill a guy. A lot. Way too many.
So Corsairs, Thomas's first team, and Vivek's team where he went on a
They
legendary
have a
run.
special place in my heart right next to Deathcore.
We're gonna say goodbye to you guys to Classified. Hope to see you guys again in some form soon. And they did well, 25th overall in Worlds. So a beautiful end to their current competitiveness. So Aquilons, quickly, Vivek.
They did okay. They're a horde team, which is acceptable, so they can always get some juice. All right, so their highest finishing was 86, so it's 5-5. I think B tier is fair. I think the main problem with them is if you simply do not play the game for 2 turning points, you can't ignore their entire shtick.
All right, now to the Raveners.
I think C tier. Actually,
Thomas had some tough matchups. I would just say the caveat for Raveners, if you play a wide map where your tunnel struggles to cover everywhere, I was able to play flank against them quite well when I beat Raveners at Worlds. But if you're playing a narrow map and they can cover the map quite
they're
well,
still very unorthodox. B tier is fair. You can find all the juice. You can squeeze this out.
Cults, what are we on Cults?
Solid B tier, hard to play. Shout out to Seafried, Faction Master. It's a large horde team, melee based, with -1 to hit in melee and rerolls. Like, it is good. People just need more time on the trigger because the horde matchups require like a real mastering of everything. Because the moment you start giving up value is where you lose as a horde team. Your strength is in many activations, and if I only give up 1 at a time for value, very, very good.
All right. Shout out to Dave Seafried as well, Big Poppy.
I need to just shout out Nick Collins from Crossfire Games because he was my very first matchup, and it was a really thematic matchup, Exaction versus Chaos Cults, and he played really, really well, an amazing player, and he finished in, I think the highest, he finished best in faction for them, 27th overall. So I wanted to shout out Nick. Amazing guy, and he piloted them really well. I think they have very unorthodox juice when piloted well. Also, shout out to Lucas from Argentina. I also played him. He did a really good, really nice guy, and really fun game against him as well. I think that's good there on B.
Awesome. All right, Thomas, another team that you played, Commandos. What do you think?
Yeah, I played Connor Meacham. He actually ended up doing quite well, I believe. I think he went something like 6-4. I don't have it up, but he ended up winning his last 3 matches. Really nice guy, Connor Meacham from Lancashire Kill Team, and he piloted Commandos. I think B is a pretty fair spot. They're going to be classified. We're going to say goodbye. One big thing that I noticed in this edition after the one game playing against them was they were rolling a lot of dice but had no piercing, so his dice kind of like rolled average, and then if you're rolling 6 dice but hitting on like 4s, he didn't really get any piercing, so I was able to like save everything with my rerolls. So that's what I found didn't give them quite the edge that they had last time. was just a lack of piercing.
We are going to see you guys later. Commandos, the top team of Kill Team 2.0, and we're going to see you later. They're classified. Now we have Rekkas as our only orc team, and let's see if they have another one coming soon. We're going to go straight now to our Patriarch and the Brood Brothers. What do we think, Vivek?
Solid B tier. Like every other horde team, is going to require those reps and finesse to squeeze the juice out of. So right now, I'm happy with comfortable B tier. Let us leave it in B tier.
All right, now Phobos. I know Phobos, a player did pretty well here, trained up. I think we met him, Pierce, was it? We met him trained up by Jason Fay, the Phobos master himself, from Just Another Kill Team podcast. Shout out. We talked to both of them on day 3. Phobos did well, always have juice. I just converted today my old Phobos into the new Space Wolves with a Salamander Kill Team. But always strong, always really, really cool. And now we have the direct replacement Space Wolves. Finished 13th in Worlds and a really good last run for Phobos. So I'm going to put them in the classified section. Now we're going to Hearthkyn.
Yeah, so Jaegers finished just below Hava from Spain in 14th, just underneath Pierce with Phobos. I think Jaegers are solid B. They have a lot of tools if you play them well. You could do like a GA2 with 2-3 APL operatives. Covering fire if you get charged. I think they have really good juice. I think they're not overtly powerful, but if you find good tech. So I think B is a really solid place, and well done to Hava for getting in 14th. Also Brood Brothers, I believe, also from Spain, Ruben placed 23rd with Brood Brothers, just to shout that out as well.
All right, so 2 good plays here for Brood Brothers and for Hearthkyn. So that's a really good. They both finished in the top 15, 16 of Worlds, so that's fantastic right there. Wormblade, Thomas, you played our honorary Jimmy Kelly. What do you think?
Yep, so I think B was a solid place to put them. They felt like they had some surprise tools that could do a lot of damage, but they also had some limitations that you could take advantage of. I think if you were caught out by hiding with them coming in within 6 inches of the board, you probably got some good value out of that. The out of phase dashes in the strategic phase definitely caught me. He got a 5-person frag grenade with ceaseless and rending, which was not fun. But yes, I think solid B, and big shout out to Jimmy Kelly for taking them. I think he piloted them on their last voyage through the competitive scene, at least in standard tournaments. So I think they had their last hurrah there. It was fun to play them on the last go out.
Any thoughts on Wormblade, Vivek?
No, yeah. Echoing
All
Tom's
right.
sentiment.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go with the Exaction, where Thomas won Best in Faction and went 4-1-5 with Exaction.
Not bad.
Really, really good. I did 4-1-5 with Warp Coven last year. Just show you how hard it is to go 4-1-5. And you
Why
brought.
we gotta play the teams that are near and dear to our heart. Never gonna make that mistake again. Chasing the new hotness. Nah, it's never the new hotness.
Yeah. I was very happy to take Exaction. I think we had them, like I said, they're solid middle of the pack. I think every single game that I lost, I felt like I could have won. It's just because they're so honest, you have to play them so well to not make a mistake. And that's very, very hard to do. Whenever I did make a mistake, I was punished pretty consistently. My overall strategy did work though, and I think when it did pull off, when I did kind of just play a nice counterpunch team and I didn't make any positioning mistakes, my strategy just worked really, really well. And against certain matchups, it just feels like so nice. Against Goremongers, you're like, come get me. And it's like, it feels so good. But it's very hard to feel like you have the tech to flex into like every single matchup comfortably. Like you can stretch into uncomfortable matchups.
You know, if you had a Melta, we'd probably be fine.
It does feel
Are they
uncomfortable.
rotating?
Nope, they're still around for a year. Yeah. So
Do you think
they're
still B tier, solid? There's juice to
solid
squeeze.
B tier still. Yeah.
Excellent.
Like I have to pick the brains of Mikkel in London. He apparently just keeps smashing out of the park with them, so I got to pick his brains. But
all right, cool.
Yep.
All right,
Solid B.
so we'll go quick now. Goremongers, I think solid B. They have
Dude,
really
C tier,
great
man.
matchups.
Go put them down in C tier.
I would say they're B. They have solid matchups, and then they struggle into other things.
They just get dicked on, man.
We're gonna
Put
say
them
C
down in C.
tier.
Look, I get it. Everybody wants them to be B tier. It's rough. If they had rerolls on the wrist chains, automatic B tier. Okay, one shooting attack per turning point with rerolls is not busted. GW, you can give them that. It's cruel. But no, without that dude, they're C tier. The fact that they have one dude who shoots with a little baby pistol with ceaseless, you need at least a little bit to leverage your move speed and everything, your extra APL. Like it's a hole in the tool set to no longer be able to throw the weapon with rerolls, and it is a pretty big problem. The severe rending is also like rough, not great on a team where it feels like the team was written to have severe and rending be synergistic. Because why would you give somebody rending on all weapons and severe in a ploy? What's the purpose of that? Yeah, C tier is right now.
You made great points, so I'll take you with that. And now we're going quickly to our flyboys here, the Vespids.
This one's weird. I think B is still fair. I think they're still in the discovery stage. I don't think all the juice has been cracked.
Yep. And I think Dylan said that they had a good matchup against Deathwatch, but then when you're in Tomb World, when you're in other things against teams that out activate you, I think it becomes tough for them to be able to get that piercing, and they don't have an access to that third APL. So just like we said before, I think we should keep them in around that bottom of B tier. Now, Star Striders, fantastic. Joe got 2 wins on his last day with Star Striders and finished something like 4-1-5 as well, or somewhere in that region.
4 and 6, yeah.
4 and 6. 4 and
Look,
6, which is fantastic.
He needed
for
to
Star
take his
Striders.
boys out for one last ride. I regret not doing that myself, so I respect it immensely.
Yeah.
I think B tier is still fair for where they are and classified. Goodbye.
And it was a really hard team to pilot. So shout out to Joe. He took them all the way and got 4 wins at Worlds. It's exceptional. So shout out to you, brother. All right, Blooded.
B is fair. Did Bean play Blooded?
Yes.
He totally did, didn't he? Yep. I mean, I think like every other Horde team, they're there. It just requires time to learn how to play 3 objectives, new missions with the new Horde style. B is fair, and good night, Sweet Princes.
Yes. All right. So Void Dancers, I got best in faction.
Yeah, baby.
Pulled it out, went 5-5. So I beat my Warp Coven from last year, the hotness team. I beat my record from last year with my favorite team, Void Dancers. And we had the 4 Void Dancer players. We'll do another video highlighting us 4. We all brought them out for an amazing end. They did me so proud. I got 2 wins on the last day as well, went 5-5. Couldn't be more happy with how they were, how they always felt. 3 APL were great. Most of us went either 4-6, 4-1-5, or 5-5. So they still had some juice to squeeze. But again, couldn't crack like a 60, 70, 80% win rate, even with players like Joey Cruz, who had been doing so well with them. And of course, our boy Aiden, who was playing exclusively Void Dancers. And so we all played a lot of Canoptek. It was really tough. And shout out to all of you guys. Shout out to Olive, who finished 1 place below me. It was like 69. I finished 69th. That's a prize in and of its own. She finished 70, and then Aiden finished 72. Cruz was right around there as well. So shout out to all you guys.
Specific shout out to Aiden. I will help you find your next spirit team. Okay, we'll find it. I found mine. You can find yours.
Yeah, I love Void Dancers. We're gonna see you again soon in some form. We have Blades of Cain, so not too much to worry about. Hunter Clade, really cool to see them.
Hang on, I played this. There's one player I actually played this.
Go ahead.
Played it. It's B tier. It's got the juice, but the way the team functions and is built requires you to really. It's like Inquisitorial Agents, but a little lighter, but then also a little more complicated. They're rotating. No longer we're trying to squeeze this juice, but I think B tier is fair. On the lower end, it's very hard, but they have enough tricks that it's a wild game.
All right. We'll see you later.
See you guys later.
Love you guys. All right. I'm going to put my Void Dancers up here because I like them so much. So now, Inquisition, 1 year left, just like cults.
Let's see. I think B tier is very solid. They have enough stuff going on in their Horde team to compete. There's only 1 player at Worlds. It was Guy. 1. Yeah, 5-1-4. I still think it's just more time with the approved ops with Horde teams will lead to better results for them. B tier, baby.
Okay.
B tier, baby. I quote myself from my previous statement. The placings aren't great, but also nobody's playing them. But I think like a 10 activation team that has weird ways to play unorthodox, I think there's still juice to be squeezed. I think B is fair. I reserve C and lower for like this needs a buff to be playable kind of thing. Whereas B is like, yeah, this can still function. You can go do something. Like you can go kill 5 Deathwatch operatives if you do it correctly. You know what I'm saying? Whereas some teams will be like, I can't do that, like no matter what I do.
Some of their wins were against Deathwatch as well, so I think they had a lot of piercing for that matchup specifically,
Yeah,
and
they
then
got
struggling to others.
They got I think 2 P2, a whole lot of P1. Like it's pretty good.
Yeah. All right, scouts. We're gonna put in C tier, I think. Right.
I look, no. I refuse. I think they are good enough for B. I've never played them. I've only played against Seafried when he plays them, but in playing against him, I can see, and they keep getting buffs. They keep getting more and more buffs. I think there is something there. I think they deserve to be in B for science.
Thomas, what do you think?
I would say Brett Bouchard from Six Sided Legion. He's a really good player. He took him. He was the only guy who took them. He went 1-10, which is very rare for Brett. So something must have gone wrong, maybe with this new approved ops. He couldn't quite settle on a strategy or something, or maybe he was just finding into this current meta. He just couldn't find an edge in most games. It's hard to tell sometimes. Sometimes you can play a team in one way and it just doesn't work. You have to try to find another way to play them. So there might be juice there, and I'd love to hear his thoughts. I think he was a little deflated from what I've heard after
It's
playing
hard
them
to
in the
go
Worlds. Yeah.
1 win and 9 losses at a travel event.
Yeah. So I think it'd be interesting to hear his thoughts. I know he's an extremely good player, so something must have just felt a little underpowered, and I'm not quite sure what it was. So maybe just top of C would be fair for now.
Okay, and yeah, hopefully he'll get some extra buffs as well. And with top players like that, it's you can kind of see over the course of 10 games if the team's got the juice or not, right? But Vetguard, we're gonna say goodbye to
S
Vetguard.
plus tier, good night, my kings.
All right.
That's all we gotta say about that. And then, yeah, so Angels of Death, nobody was there. C tier is still fair. They're like bottom of the pack for Space Marines. We're doing this in sequence. Put Hoda in B tier. They're still a fast elf team. They got the ceaseless buff back. Nobody played them at Worlds, but they're gonna be annoying to play against later.
Okay. We'll put them in B. So Hand of the Archon, you're going to be in B for now, even though you weren't at Worlds. But this is a post Worlds, what we think the new meta will shake up as. So
Are they not getting out?
Hearthkyn Salvagers, Thomas.
Yep, I think B for now. I think they're a very interesting team, and I think we didn't see them at Worlds, so I've yet to see how they work in this new approved ops. But I think they're quite an interesting team with a lot of interesting play. So I think B's good.
And you thought they post buffs, they have some juice too, with the same way that you played Exaction.
Yep, definitely a cool counterpunch vibe, which is really up my alley. So I think B's good for now, and then we'll see. We can come back to them. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna do higher tech because of the kill up. I think it's easy to say bottom of C for now. Kazarkin, Thomas.
Yeah, again, I would say similar to Hearthkyn. They're we'll put them in B for now, and then we still
Absolutely not. Put them in C.
We still have to see. Hold on, we still have to see. We haven't seen this team anywhere,
Yeah,
so it's really hard to say with a team if you don't see them anywhere and like no one's playing.
That is
them.
also fair. I'm willing to do B for science. When we revisit the tier list, look, in a few patches, when we revisit it and we look at stuff, we'll talk about it then.
So Gellerpox, good night, sweet Gellerpox. Orion.
C is fair.
And they weren't at Worlds, so we're just gonna shimmy over them. But let's see if a team like Gellerpox come around pretty soon, sometime soon. Imperial Navy Breachers and Hell, does he have light of day? Or are they going to be
I think we can still hang out in C for a second. I don't know. Put them in B. I think there's room to experiment. It's weird. I think we're entering a weird meta coming up. I think B for science. If Kaz are going to be B for science, the Breachers going to be B for science here.
We have to have some juicy picks in this as well.
Yeah.
So, Pathfinders.
Don't care. They're gone. Get them out of here. Boy, I love you, but get them out of here.
Novies.
Were they there?
Also out of there. They were there.
One.
I think they did.
Oh, are they rotating?
Yeah, they're rotating. Yeah.
C tier, get them out of there. Like they had their time. Good night, sweet princes.
Yeah. Sanctifiers lost so much of their good ploys, so I think they're firmly in C.
So Milton gave me a real life sermon on why they're still viable. Put them in B tier for Zions. I think
Okay,
he's
for
right.
Milton
He's
and
onto
for
something.
Science.
I think the rules are now very, very usable for a horde kill team, but not super busted. You have to. It's not free anymore. You got to work for it, but it's there. The value is there to take.
Their operatives and their strat plays are still fantastic. So I would be
And having
definitely
access to also
agree.
like crit fishing and so you have some stuff. You have some stuff. Miraculous is great. Having your own Fellgor is fun. We have Fellgor at home.
Yeah. And then Plague Marines. What do we think?
They're definitely better than AOD. Put them in B. I played Orion. It was a 1 point game. It's rough. It's interesting. They're still kind of tanky, but they'll suffer as Space Marines. But I think B is still fair. You can still squeeze enough.
All right, we're doing well. We're going quick fire here. Now Warp Coven. Good night, guys.
Good night. C tier. I'd put them in their own tier called Warp Coven. GW wants to remove from the game tier.
Yeah, and they are gone now.
Which
So
understandable. They were in a box, and GW was like, "We don't want people to be playing this team we don't feel like balancing. Let's just nuke them. We'll nuke them. We'll nuke them now, and then the next balance patch will be like we'll also reduce the dash from capricious. You can only move 2 or something. We'll nerf them one more time.
so goodbye, all these classified teams. Legionaries.
C is fair. They're down there with the AOD.
I lost to Legionaries. It was a tight game.
We were playing elves, which is in their sweet spot for want to kill you.
Yes. And now we have them gone, and they're coming right back in the form of raptors. Yeah, I think they were painted as Night Lords, but they're supposed to be different. Thomas, what do
That'd
you?
be fun. Okay, neat.
Yeah, I was just going to say shout out to Alan for Mexico. I had a great game against him. Exaction, they love that Legionary matchup, and I was able to just squeeze out the win. Yeah, so they've had their time, and we'll say goodnight, sweet princes, to the Legionaries.
Yeah, and I just want to shout out Justin as well, who I played. Justin, you did so well in that matchup, and you gave Legionaries a great last run. So AOD,
C tier, baby. C tier.
C tier. There's some new juice, but we were talking with Aiden. He was thinking of running some AOD.
There's some juice. It's just the juice is worse than the other Space Marines still. Like it is still worse.
And speaking of new Space Marines, we got the Space Wolves, which I think they're going to be an A.
So I think overall an A, but I think as a horde team with a Patriarch, I will be able to beat them. Or I can just play with the Magus and stun the dog. Like, hey, cool, you want to charge the dog? You can't. He's stunned.
Yep.
Neat. Cute.
So
yeah, I think A tier is totally fair. They'll be good.
Yeah, they'll be good. They have really good operatives employees. My only thing is the action economy because they don't have any free, like the Phobos had Vanguard.
It is, yeah, you kind of do need it, particularly on Tomb World. Somebody to open a door for free is fun.
Yeah, because the Death Watch have that access to an extra, and they have 2 counteracts, whereas the Space Wolves don't have the 2 counteracts or that free action economy. So I think that's where they might struggle in the high action economy mission.
And as we've learned, playing the mission, very important.
Yeah. All right. And Thomas, stealth suits, what do you think?
I know nothing about these guys, Thomas. Tell me all about them.
Yeah, I would say definitely a very interesting team. They look like they have similar issues. I've yet to get a game with them, obviously, because we're just very fresh, just came back from Worlds. But I would say probably high B. They've got an interesting thing where it's going to open up more positioning opportunities because you don't have to worry about heavy cover, which can be very interesting. The problem is, even if you're unshootable, it's still 3 inches, which is worse than they had before, which was 2 inches. And now it's like you still don't need visibility for getting charged. So that's the big problem. In a game where it's not that far away from each other, even if you're untargetable, you still might be chargeable. So they do have some tech to get away from that. They're definitely going to be harder to pilot than the Wolf Scouts for sure. They're going to be a
So they're
team
not
that
melee means you cannot simply run your opponent down.
yes. So I think they're going to be the thinking man's team in the box, and they're going to be probably a lot harder to find the sweet spot in their power level than other teams that we've seen recently. So I think maybe high B on the earliest of impressions, I would put them there.
All right, guys. So before we finalize the tier list, we are going to shout out. We officially have a date for our Twinhammer with Vivek with Top Shelf. It's our doubles team tournament. It's doubles team tourney. It's twins or enemies. Bring either your faction, and you can bring a classified faction, your twin faction, or like Eldari, or enemies, or just come up with a really good backstory.
The
It's
main
gonna
focus
be
is come up with a cool narrative for why your two teams are cooperating and doing this thing. So you can go out there in the weeds, man. The lore gives you so much freedom to play with.
Yep.
Use it. Come up with something.
Use it. And we're going to, it's going to be sick. It's going to be really amazing. Hosted by Top Shelf again. If you guys want to go get your Kill Team stuff, Ontario, Top Shelf, Oakville, go to the website, Top Shelf Co. You can get the new box Shadowhunt coming up, or Dead Silence coming up as well. And we are going to have Vulcus and Tomb World side by side on the same table, and you can talk to your doubles partner as well. So this is going to be a really cool event. We are going to celebrate the hobby, celebrate the narrative, and it's going to be a top level competitive event as well. February 28th. Check out for the BCP in the show notes soon coming. And this is our final Kill Team tier list right here, guys. So I hope you guys enjoy. Have a lot of fun playing Post Worlds in this new approved ops. We have some sick boxes coming out soon. And Thomas, Vivek, any final shout outs here?
I love the whole community. Shout out to all of you. It's wonderful going to Worlds and seeing the international love and support and the passion and everything. It is fantastic. I'm so happy to be part of this community. Let's go do some really fun, great things.
Thomas?
Yeah, I wanted to say, so amazing to meet everyone at Worlds. We had so many people come and say hello. So thank you so much for watching. And it was just an honor to be part of this amazing community. And we had a great time at Worlds. We're hoping to do a few more videos with the overall experience. This was just more of a recap video, and with some really quick shout outs. But shout out to everyone at Worlds and to the wider community. You guys are all amazing, and it just got me even more excited for Kill Team and got the juices flowing incredibly well, which means, it's a great game with a great community. So just super happy about everything.
Yeah, we love all of you guys, and this is like an absolute dream, a Warhammer dream. A Kill Team's amazing game. All of us wanted to play more Kill Team after we played 10 games straight. So if you're not in Kill Team, get into Kill Team. It's amazing.
Amazing.
So we'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much.
See you.